I have it on my cell phone. You see, like not
Yeah.
available. So
All
we
right,
need.
now we're live, everybody. Hey, always issues with random things. Anyways, hi everyone. I'm Buildable. This is Late Night of Base doing a live stream with Propykeys. Super excited. We got Anita. We got Ryan. We are bringing. Well, actually, they are bringing the world on chain. Real estate's actually something that in my previous crypto days I've been very involved. Some of you guys know. And so the whole aspect of bringing real world assets, and this is what the RWA sector is all about, real world assets, basically on chain. And so that's what Propykeys are doing. So we're going to find out all about them, and Anita and Ryan will explain. So I'm excited for my viewers to kind of know what's going on in this industry. And why don't you guys take it away? Anita, Ryan, how are you guys doing today?
Yeah, life is great. Just really exciting stuff with what we're currently building. Our main idea with Propykeys is to build an on-chain home registry system where real estate can be transacted on the blockchain. And currently, we just crossed 280,000 addresses minted, and we're hoping to go for 300,000 here over the coming weeks. So after an address is minted on chain, what happens is that homeowner will also have the opportunity to upgrade their deed or title to protect them from fraud or any type of traditional scams that are out there with identity fraud and all that. So our system with the tier 2, we do protect homeowners with that part. And if they do decide to go into like a tier 3 system, which is actually putting the actual home on chain, that's going to help automate the closing process for a real estate transaction. That makes the closing process a lot faster, easier, and more secure. That will not only help the homeowner sell their home faster, but also agents and title companies migrate a little bit faster on blockchain.
You saw the whole process, Ryan. Hey guys, my name is Anita. Happy to be here. Super excited. Yeah, and we are building on base. I think this is an important thing that we need to tell. It's base are growing so fast now. Like so many projects, so many activities around. I'm just don't have time to watch everyone. It's going crazy. I see Bill is super active on X with different activities as well.
Trying to be active, trying to I'm a big base guy, obviously late night on base, but yeah, just trying to kind of put out what's going on, to because the space is so vast and so big that you need to be able to educate and teach others what's going on. And so particularly real estate, I do feel is the next frontier. I do want to kind of get into it because again, your community knows what you guys are about. My community probably doesn't, and so I want to kind of dive in a little bit because I know Propy is probably the parent company and you guys are subsidiary or something. And Propy, what they do, and I've known Propy for a while and really cool. They're doing the same. Well, they're real estate on the blockchain, and the whole thing about titles and deeds is very much needed to kind of have that. And one of the big reasons I remember in 2019. I remember speaking to Natalia at the time and told her the biggest reason why having like a deed on a blockchain is mandatory is because in a first world country, we take it for granted. You own your house, you have the deed, everything's fine. But what they don't realize is in third world countries, whether there's corruption everywhere. And so technically, if you don't have a deed on a blockchain and you have a paper deed, you're at risk for loss of fire. You're at risk for government corruption saying, oh, you don't own it, and they steal it from you. And it happens. And so having something immutable on a blockchain is very much needed. So Anita, Ryan, why don't you kind of talk to us about, in general, what is Propykeys? How did it come about? And yeah, what's the end goal?
Yep. So Propykeys, it started out as an idea in early March. Our founder, Nina, she joined with the Propy team to launch the home registry system with Propykeys. So basically what happens is with Propykeys, a user will mint an address on our software. And once that address is minted on chain, they will have the ability to upgrade that address into either the tier 2 deed or their RWA home. And with that tier 2 or the tier 3, that they will be able to upgrade with Propy's actual technology. So it's the main idea is they'll mint our address on chain with Propykeys, and then if they want to secure it with Propy's technology, they'll then upgrade the deed or the actual RWA home using Propy's technology, which will give them that extra layer of security with blockchain, and also help them transact faster with blockchains and closings.
I just want to add here how simple the process is, especially the first step. As Ryan mentioned in the beginning, we are reaching our next milestone of 300,000 addresses in October. We do hope, yeah. And the first stage, what we are focusing in Propykeys, this is mint an address, and actually you can mint any available address. It could be like your own one, it could be your neighbors, friends, parents, like, and in just several seconds, it's very affordable, around $3.50, just several seconds, with a base wallet, like, very simple. But then if you want to upgrade it to the tier 2, and when it comes to Propy, actually, and they do all the verification like KYC and all the other stuff. And this is, I think, one of the most excitement part, when you really feel that you are secured, you are safe, your information is safe, it's unchangeable on the blockchain. And as it's how many fraud are happening all over the world, not only in the first class countries, everywhere, like every single month, sometimes weeks, we hear this crazy stories, like how people lose their homes. And it's scary, really, it's scary. You can come back from your holidays and you can't open the door, and it's something crazy. You think, oh my god, how it could happen in the modern world. But then when you find out new technologies like blockchain, smart contracts, what we are bringing and building around, and you see the values, like the values of security, safety, speed, when you can make your transactions just within minutes, without opening like bank accounts, all this paperwork, and you can access your information from all over the world. You don't need to go to your home, like to open your safe, to see all this, like, 100 documents. You can just access it like whenever you have internet. I think this is the benefits that our modern world brings to us. It's our choice whether to use them, or we have so many people around who are still declining that, oh, no, I will go the way I used to go. And it's hard, it's not easy, like to do like mass adoption. When I talk to my neighbors, and I live in a very retired place, so it's mostly people over 60, 70 years old. And sometimes I talk to them, that, oh, they love to ask me, what do you do? And it's my favorite part, to talk to.
Did Anita freeze out, or is that me?
Anita's frozen on my part as well.
Oh my
Gotcha.
god.
Oh,
Am I here now?
There you are. You're back.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just want to tell that, yeah, when I talk to Web2 people explaining like we mean the world, or we put home addresses on chain, they don't understand, really. They just look at me on chain, on base, and I even imagine how they started creating some base in their heads. But when I tell them, imagine you can digitalize your title, that like your ownership, and you can make it very safe, like in a digital ledger. Like I try to tell simple to them, and it's secured and accessible, and you can sell and buy properties just with minutes, with no bank accounts. And that's what makes them, oh, that's something sounds interesting. What's your website? So that's how it goes,
Very cool. So, all right. So my question to you guys is, all right. So Propykeys, obviously, digitalizing real estate is the end goal. Title, all that. I know in 2021, Propy at that time, it wasn't Propykeys, it was Propy. They minted an NFT of a home in Ukraine. I think it was Michael Arrington's home, and that was kind of cool. That was the first like NFT as a home. I don't know if they've done more than that, but now with Propykeys, you're saying you can mint, and I want to get to a live stream, and that's why we're doing live streams. I want you guys to kind of demonstrate. But when you mean mints, like, are you actually just minting like a fictional address? Like you say, oh, I can mint my own home. Obviously, there's no legal backing to that because my home is my home, and so I can't just have random Joe mint it, or like the Eiffel Tower. I've minted actually a couple just random like landmarks.
Oh,
Yeah, I
which
did.
ones? Tell us.
Yeah, back in like April, I remember it went live, and I was just like, "This is cool." So I minted like some cool monuments. But how does it work though? So what are you actually minting at this moment?
So right now, once someone mints an address, it's they're basically reserving an address within our database. And once an address is minted, that's one of one. That's it. It can be transferred. It can be like traded if like a real owner wants to buy it. But basically, that's it. Once you mint an actual address, you're minting it from the database, and that's the first part of that. Now, what happens is after the real address, like after that address is minted, let's say that the real homeowner wants to reserve it on chain. Well, if I minted it and it wasn't my address, let's say it's my friend's address. Well, once the homeowner wants to come on chain and upgrade, what they would do is they'd go through the tier 2 KYC process. It costs about 50 Pro at the moment. And once they do that process, I would get rewarded the 50 Pro. So from all of these current addresses that we see on chain right now, they're all getting reserved. There's the 283,000 that we have at the moment. They're all reserved for future homeowners that want to add that extra layer of security and transparency, who believe that real estate will be transacted on chain one day.
Right. Maybe we can showcase like what does it mean to mint an address?
Yeah. Why don't we do that? Why don't you take us from start to finish? So that way anyone watching can kind of see the steps, because I feel like that's the tutorials that people need. Super cool to talk about it, but actually seeing it live is cool.
Absolutely. Let's do it. 1%. So I'm going to start off with our DApp, and then after we go through the DApp, we'll go through the minting site.
While Ryan is opening, I just want to add, guys, that there are two types of mints that you can make. It's address minting, available always, like whenever the address is available for mint. And also we have landmarks, which Bill mentioned in the beginning. And minting landmarks happens only one time per month, every 13th day of the month. And actually our next one is next Sunday in a week. And here you can mint some famous places, historical sites, museums, stadiums. It's an AI generated art, and you can customize it with different features like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pro tokens. This is a token of our ecosystem. It's a really fun process. Yeah, and then you co-create these landmarks like with your imagination and how you would like to customize it. Yeah, and then it appeared like an art, so you can save it, you can trade it, and yeah, it's very funny process. I believe I enjoyed it a lot. Oh yes,
absolutely. And we'll go through that process as well in just a moment, which I think a lot of people will enjoy. So
it's my favorite one.
yeah, like once you see it, it makes a lot more sense. When we're first talking about it, sometimes it takes a little bit, but once you actually do it yourself, it's a lot more fun. So this is our dap.propy.com. We actually did just integrate with the Coinbase Smart Wallet. So for anyone that's not familiar with crypto, or maybe they haven't used crypto in the past, or this is their first time, it's very easy. They could just simply hit create wallet, and they have their passkey, so they can just immediately use it. So they won't have to worry about memorizing the seed phrase and all that. So we did just integrate with that. We started that last Friday, actually. So that's a cool little new feature that just recently came out. Now, what you're seeing here, this is our home address registry platform, where all of these addresses that we're talking about with the 283,000 plus that have already been minted, they're all shown on this map. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to view the full map where everyone can see it. And you can see here that there's options on the map where we can see only listed homes or only landmarks. That's what Anastasia was talking about earlier, where people can either mint a home or they can mint a landmark around the world. So for this case, we're going to go through like a landmark, and we'll show you what that looks like. And cool story with landmarks. When Propykeys beta first launched, landmarks were some of the first minted addresses where a lot of people were just naturally collecting like stadiums. They were collecting like the Hollywood sign. They were collecting like Eiffel Tower, Big Ben, and a lot of like really cool landmarks around the world. So when we started seeing things like this, it started to really have that network effect where a lot of people start to resonate more with the platform. So like whenever like you see a landmark like this, if there's a landmark in like your hometown or something like that, it could be helpful to see if it's on chain or not. But we'll go ahead. We'll go into, let's say, Miami area, and whenever like you see like an orange bubble, blue bubble, or like a yellow bubble, that's just showing how many addresses are within like a certain diameter. So if we go ahead, we click on, let's say like this one in Aventura County, this will show us what some of the landmarks minted here are. For this one, if we just click on that right there, it'll show us what that landmark actually is. So we could see this address is the Porsche Design Tower in Miami. Now, if I click on that, I have to switch the browser here. I'll show you what that is. All right. Now, after you click on an address like that, where the bubble is, you're going to be able to see the context behind there. So you're going to be able to see the full address, which this is. So this is what that looks like. I don't know if
Ryan, sorry, we don't see the screen, your screen.
Got it. Yeah, somehow one dropped.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Now you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So once you click on the address within the DApp where that little home icon is, it'll show you where the actual address is. Like it'll show you like the full address, and then you can also see what the landmark looks like. So this is what the Porsche Design Center in Miami looks like, and that was generated with our AI. And then below here, you can see like the city that it's in, Sunny Isles, the country, United States. You can see it's reserved. And this was minted on August 2nd, 2024.
It's one of the most expensive buildings in Miami.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
Especially the Porsche Design Tower. That's a huge brand.
I think Leo Messi is living there.
Leo Messi, yeah.
I think so.
I heard it was something like that. It's like nearby him.
So, okay. So right now, is there a, what's like the secondary market? Like, is there buying and selling? Are people, so you're minting it? Are they just normally holding it? Is there any gamified aspects? What's the numbers looking like at the moment?
Yeah, so we are listed on Rarible and OpenSea. So if anyone ever wanted to, let's say, purchase a landmark or they wanted to trade it, they can always list something like this on OpenSea. And if someone found interest in collecting that, then they can go ahead, they can make a bid, or they can go ahead and purchase it if it's for sale. In terms of utility for these, there is a lot of exciting things coming out, especially with some of the gaming aspects that we're developing. From June and July area, we had something that was it's called daily challenges, which are still active today, where anyone who was going through daily challenges, they'd get asked questions like for example, like a landmark like this would pop up, and we would just quiz users about if they could identify something like this. Hey, have you ever heard of, let's say, the Porsche Design Tower in blank county, in Miami County or Aventura County? And if the user would answer that correctly, what happened is they would get some points, and at the end of those challenges, the points would be claimable for pro tokens. Now, one of the benefits with owning landmarks is those would be featured inside of those quizzes. Later on this year, or hopefully either this year or early next year, we're going to be adding some additional utility to the landmarks. So whoever owns some of these, they could be featured in like a certain game. And we're hoping to get more visibility to things like that as well, along with a few other features that are being developed with that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go back into the DApp, and we'll go through like a regular address, like so we can see what that looks like as well. All right, so we just took a look at one of the landmarks. If we wanted to go through like actual home addresses, like let's say that we were just looking at like maybe our local areas, or we're just looking at maybe like we're collecting addresses, or we're building like a portfolio of addresses to potentially upgrade in the future, especially if you know a lot of people that are crypto friendly. What we would do on this is we just segment it to only listed homes. And yeah, it might take a little bit to load, but let's see. Sometimes my screen gets a little slow with the screen share, so I'm just going to re-enter that and do that again. All right. All right. So let me see. So right now it seems like that my screen isn't like loading fast enough, and it's not populating where all the homes are. But normally how this works is once you check only listed homes, it's going to show up all the home addresses. And just like what we saw with the landmarks, we're going to be able to see the specific home address, and we can see like if that's been reserved or not. And you can see like where all like the addresses are around the world. Now there is a privacy feature too. So if someone didn't want to see an address, you can also have it marked as private, which we'll get into that as well. But for now, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna move on past this. My screen, it's not like loading, and I'll be respectful of everyone's time. So on to that. So these are like where the tiers are. For the tier 1, you mint an address. This is like that first step in terms of creating an on-chain token. It costs about 2.5 Pro. So in order to get onto our database, this would be the first step. So you just go ahead, you mint the address, and then it would go onto this map here. The second step is that reservation tier where they upload the deed and they go through the KYC process, and then they would have their actual title secured on chain that protects them from the fraud, and additional benefits with that as well. And then they go into tier 3 RWA, which would help speed up the buying and selling process using Propykeys technology. And they can potentially use their NFT as on-chain collateral and all of that. So the first step is that tier 1, you get onto the map. And then this, like the tier 2 and the tier 3, this is on a backend database that wouldn't be listed on the map. But this is like where the additional security and the faster buying and selling can occur. Below here, these are like just top rated collection items. So if anyone ever wanted to go through some of the landmarks, especially like as we were talking about secondary sales, this is where people can just scroll through and see what else has been minted. So like some of these, we could see this is the Nintendo Rockefeller Center, Midtown Manhattan in New York, Art Institute of Chicago, Miami Design District. And this is a great example here too. Actually, you can see this is a landmark that was minted as a private address in Golden Beach. So if someone wasn't comfortable with sharing their address on the blockchain, there's a feature where they just hit private address and they're able to conceal their identity with that. RWAs. When we started, we talked about the first property being listed in Ukraine. It's actually right here, studio apartment over here, where you can see that. And there's some details. It's 1 bed, 1 bathroom, square footage, and then you could also upload some images. You can see there's a little CryptoPunk here.
Does the owner who purchased it, is it the same person, or do you know maybe the info?
That's a great question. I don't know that off the top of my head, but yeah, we could always figure that out. I'm not sure.
And how many, if you happen to know, how many real world NFTs have been used to transfer property like this one? How many have been done?
So to date, let's see. So to date, we have, it looks like we're up to 4 right now. We're still rolling this out.
Yeah, well,
so
Ted said 3.
3?
Yeah.
Our DAP is showing 4, so maybe we got an extra one.
In the US. In the US.
Oh, 3 in the US. Yes, that's correct. Yes. So yeah, so we have 3 in the US and then the first one in Ukraine. So there's 3. Yeah, so 3, and we could call it 4 total on there.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the goal is for the 280,000 plus addresses that we already have on chain. Hopefully, we're aiming to slowly convert more of those on chain as our technology becomes more well adopted and people start using it. This is the deed process. So right to the right here with the real world assets, these are all the deeds that we're talking about. So that's just, we are over, I believe, 1,200 plus deeds at the moment, or we're right around 1,100. So this is just like showing like how many people are upgrading those into the tier 2. And then we have our meta agents, and then we also have the home listings. So later on in the future, when you think about like listing sites like Zillow and Realtor and on all these other home sites where you could see like a lot of like homes being listed for a sale, you will also be able to see homes listed on chain for a sale. And this is an example of a home out in Switzerland. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, 500 square feet. And then below here, these are just like recently minted addresses that we were going through. So if you see like the visual example, well, you could also see like a scrolling example where you could just see them like that if someone was interested in that. Now that's the DApp. What we'll do now is we'll actually go ahead and we'll mint an address. So I'm going to switch the browser here.
Maybe we can ask someone to drop any address in the comments, and we can mint it. Ryan can mint it, so we can memorize this live stream with minting an address.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be pretty good. Anyone
Have...
watching? Drop an address.
Yeah, let's try. The main thing, it should be available.
Yeah. Well, while we wait for that, do we want to bring up Ted at all, Anita?
Yeah.
So yes, bring him up.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I know Ted's been waiting in the backstage, so I want to bring him up real quick. Ted, how you doing?
Hey, Ted.
I'm doing great. Can you guys hear me?
A little bit. I think I could hear you. Can you guys hear him?
Great.
Yeah, I can hear you. Perfect.
How is it?
Looks like I'm lagging.
Yeah. There's a lag on my end too.
I'm
So
great.
I think. Yeah, I think he's lagging. Am I the only one feeling that, or?
Yeah, I think so. I have the same.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to drop you down, Ted, because it's a little lagging. But while we wait for Ted's connection to get a little bit better, Ryan, do you want to mint something? So Rush Beyond has asked about Point Nemo. Maybe we can mint that.
Yeah, let's check it out. So the only thing is, because actually I'll see if I can do it in a stage test. But because landmark minting is closed, Point Nemo won't be available on the public site until October 13th, when landmark minting is available. Mm-hmm. But I could go into our stage testing to see if maybe we could show you what a landmark minting would look like. So can everyone see the screen?
No. Now you can.
Okay, great. So this is the site. So just propykeys.com. What we do, the first step is just click mint address on chain. And of course, Smart Wallet is now available. So if you don't have a wallet, you can easily create one with these 2 buttons up here. Agree to the terms and conditions, and then we just go ahead. I already have a wallet, so I'm just going to connect to my MetaMask. And this is a Sepolia network. So just going to... I forget the password. Connect. See, and this is one of the benefits with Smart Wallet is if you use Smart Wallet, you won't be able, you don't have to go through all these steps. It's actually just one click and you're in. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I love the Smart Wallet.
So much more effective. Like that MetaMask, that most people, it's very complicated to go through those, especially if the connection is slow.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the minting dashboard. So on the back end here, what we can see, I'll go back into that. So we go into our profile here. At the bottom, you can see we have mints. We have a leaderboard. And then down here in the bottom, if you wanted to see more, you can see the minting address. You could see the homepage, mints. If you want to invite people to the ecosystem, every invite that you get, you do get a free mint once they mint their first address. And then we can also see like top cities minted. So since this is on the test network, it's not, you're probably not seeing the ones that we would see on the regular site. But if we go back into the minting thing, if we want to mint an address, we're just going to go into mint an address here, and we'll go ahead. We'll see if we can mint Point Nemo. So actually, I'm surprised. I would think Point Nemo would be a landmark, but the API is showing it's an address. So right now, what would happen is if we wanted to mint it, we would just go ahead. We click that. I use a security browser, but it's very simple. You just click mint, hit approve. And that's mostly it. We just wait for this transaction to be completed, and then that would be all. Very simple process. And after you have that, now you can see that this is a secondary transaction. This is actually sending the pro right now to pay for the wallet. A smart wallet, I believe it's just one transaction. So let's say that you'd have the option to, if you're minting home address, you can input the exact value. So if this home is worth, let's say, $1 million, then you would just put in the approximate value of the home. Mm-hmm. And the price that's not on chain. So this is just like data that we're collecting for listing purposes. And then if you're the real owner, you have the option to select if you're the real owner or the minter. If you're the real owner, it would just ask you to, if you wanted to upgrade to the tier 2 right away, you can. And that's where you just go through the KYC process. And I could actually show you what that looks like. But it will just ask us like if you want to sell the property in real life or if you don't. You could also skip the questions, but if they did want to sell it, go through that. And then congratulations, you've minted the first address.
Very cool. And right now we have about 1,000 viewers live. So this is really nice that you guys can see, how to actually mint something on the DApp and using Coinbase Smart Wallet, which is a game changer. You just have a smart key and you don't really even feel like you're utilizing anything on chain. So that's definitely very cool. So now it mints it and then it becomes an NFT in your wallet, correct?
Exactly. So how that would work is, just before I go into that, I just want to show you like some of these features right here. So we just completed the mint. Congratulations. The address is now minted in our wallet. Below here, this is something that is rolling out. But if this is your home and you do want to sell in the future, you can maximize the visibility by listing it within the community. And it'll just be a very simple feature where if you already upgraded to tier 2, then this would already be there, but you just go through that process. We pay 50 Pro, and we go ahead, we complete the listing. And we could also upload images. We can highlight what the property looks like, add in like little dimensions, the features, which I think that's really cool. Just putting that all on chain. So.
Yeah, and also you can consider, guys, minting an address or landmark like your ticket to the community and ecosystem, as we are now working on the gamify elements and to make this process more fun and engaging, and the quests that we had in the past, and we will renew them in the future. It's something that you can play around, take part, have fun, make some additional tokens, some rewards. So we'd really love to keep our community engaged. So just with one mint, you have this ticket and you can take part in all the activities that we are organizing. Oh, wow. I have never thought this, by the way. I never click like I'm always a minter. So, wow, it's exciting.
Yeah, this is like most people, if you just click minter, you don't have to, like, this is completely optional, by the way. It's just like a little benefit I want to share with some people, because it is becoming a lot more refined and it is getting a lot of improvements. So like for anyone that is like a realtor or they're actually a homeowner or they're actually looking to transact on chain and speed up that closing process, this is part of like the process of doing that. You can write out like beautiful, let's say it's like, you could just do like beautiful waterfront in let's say Australia. And you could do, if it's like 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, you could just put in all the sizes. So let's say it's like 1,000, we'll just do 1,000. Let's say it's like 2 floors. Oh, so if it's 1 floor, then you could do that. If it's a multiple floor, then you just do 2 there. But for this case, we'll just keep it at, we'll just zero it out. We'll just say that there's just like 1, or we'll just do 1 and 1. The type you can always select if it's going to be like what type of property is it? Is this is it a loft? Is it a coop? Is it like a rental, pre-construction, mobile home, manufactured home, whatever it might be? You could always just like select through some of these single family home. So for this one, we'll do that. We'll just say it's like made, and we'll say it's like new real estate. We'll say 2024. And if you wanted to, you can always upload a photo, and then you would just submit that. Valid number is required. So let's see. I don't really have a picture of a home that I can see. I'll see if I can find one briefly, but basically all we would do on that is we just upload a picture of a home, and that would just show in there. So let's see if I can find one quick. We'll do like Australia waterfront.
You want to be as real as possible, right, Ryan?
Yeah, because like what you'll see is on the listing, that because that, just like how we saw the Switzerland listing before, that's actually what it shows for the listing as well. So
yeah, but it's really simple, it's just several clicks, you get your address and you fill in this information, add some pictures, and here you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very simple process. You can always upload more, but right here, this is like a picture. Let's say that this is the home we're doing that. You can do that. The size, I'm not sure what the size is for a property on that, but there we go. It's just simple. Like once you have the image, you fill all the information on there. The property's live, and then you'll be able to view the property. Now, because this is on the Stage network, you're not gonna be able to see that, but you can view it. And then, of course, if the homeowner upgraded to tier 2, it'd be KYC process, all of that, and they'd have their deed secured on chain with all of that. So that's the listing process if they wanted to list a home on chain to sell it. If we actually wanted to see where that mint is stored in their wallets, you can see, you could go down to the mints tab below here. And if we scroll down to the mints, you could see that Clearville, Australia, that was the Point Nemo address that we just minted. It'd be listed right here, and there's 3 buttons. So if they wanted to upgrade, they can go ahead, they can upgrade it. Now, since this is outside of the US, they're not able to upgrade that. They're only able to upgrade this in the United States at the current moment. But that's where the addresses would be shown.
And what right now is the most popular, I guess, state that's been minted?
Great question. So actually, let's check it out. So what I'll do is we'll go to propykeys.com/cities. And I will have to reshare the screen.
I think Teaneck is the leader still.
Yeah, possibly.
In New York, I think so. But let's check it out.
Let's see it. Yep. So I'm going to share the screen. Actually, this is actually really cool. So I just logged into now this is the real site right now at propykeys.com. I'm not on the test network anymore. I think this is really cool. This is a cool feature I didn't see before, but as soon as I signed in, I have the option to buy crypto. I could swap for Pro, and I could check out my activity. So that's on my wallet right there. As soon as I connected to the site, but below here, so now we're on the real site right now, propykeys.com. Inside of here, you could see the mints section. If we actually scroll down, this is where we're going to be able to see the top minted cities. So right now you can see Teaneck. It's
Ryan, sorry, we don't see the screen.
You don't see it?
No.
Yeah, for some reason it just drops down.
Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a little bit delayed, I guess. So so basically, yeah, so this is a real Propykeys site. Same process. When you go down here, you can see the mints. Those are some of the mints that I have. But below here, if you go down, you can see where the top minted cities are. So top minted cities, we can see TNEC is here, 5,600 plus addresses. New York is in second place with 3,900. And then we have Los Angeles in third place with 3,100. And then the Bronx, 2,200, and then Brooklyn with 1,700. Then below there, we could also see users as well with the number amount of points. Now, one really cool thing with the minters here is we actually just had a partnership with Unstoppable Domains where people can create a .propykeys username. So right now you can see that there's some addresses linked here. Ideally, in the near future, we're hoping to, if let's say someone wanted to, like I have, for example, Ryan.propykeys. One day in the future, I'm hoping that this will be able to show like Ryan.propykeys and the number of points that a user has within the ecosystem. So it'll be a little bit easier to identify like who people are and like where they're going with that. So.
Very cool. Let's see. Like I said, we have about 10 more minutes. I want to get I Am Ted on, and I'll let you guys introduce him. I've never met him, so I know he's a big supporter. So Anita, why don't you take it away once we get I Am Ted on? Let's remove this. Ted, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
I am great. Thanks for your patience. Technical difficulties are always exciting.
Always. So Anita, why don't you take it away? Introduce us to Ted.
Yeah, Ted is one of our main community members and our ambassador. He's a real estate agent with huge experience. We're excited about blockchain technologies and what we are building in the ecosystem. So yeah, just from the real estate perspective, Ted, if you could share with us your thoughts on what we are building, like why do you mint? It's one of the most popular questions from people. Guys, why do you mint? Why do I need to do that? If you could share your thoughts on that, it would be great.
Sure. And I want to touch back on something Bill said a few minutes ago about third world countries. I wouldn't call them that so much, but less developed countries. You know, being a real estate agent in 2 MLSs and active in global real estate, that is one of the biggest challenges that most countries have is chain of title, and blockchain is really going to fix that. That's one of the most important things outside the United States that needs to happen in order to be able to transact real estate internationally. So I wanted to point that out too. And obviously, when a title or a deed is recorded on blockchain, that opens up a whole world that most people don't really even think much about to buyers who have crypto and want to use it to buy real estate. I mean, if you're a seller, wouldn't you want to work with a real estate agent that can market your property to a whole market of buyers that is not dependent on interest rates or affordability and has an alternative type of financing that we all understand how much liquidity that's going to free up for people that want to buy property, as well as open the door for investors who want to take a piece or are willing to invest in a property, which might help the person who is initially involved in wanting to buy the property. Real quick, I'm based out of Las Vegas. I'm also licensed in Miami Beach, where you guys were just talking about. I've been a realtor for 27 years, and I'd have to say I'm a Propy OG. I've been following Propy since before COVID, and so I am super excited about where all this technology is going, and it's really going to, and I don't know if I should really say something like this, but it's going to disrupt the real estate industry. The fact of the matter is, especially in the United States with all the fraud that's going on, if an agent doesn't have a plan or a method to help a potential client avoid the fraud, then they're contributing to the problem. And so there's definitely a big transition that's happening, and I'm happy to be part of this. I'm probably the first real estate agent, perhaps even in the world, that has his own metaverse space that's designed for real estate. It can be found on Spatial, and it's called the Tetaverse. And I offer properties in different parts. Fortunately, having been to Dubai several times and traveling the way I do, I understand that there are a lot of people that want to get interested in real estate that do not live in the United States, and this is going to open up all kinds of doors for investors that want to come to the United States, or a lot of the millennials who have crypto, who got in to Bitcoin early enough and are sitting on a bag that may want to leverage that. They don't even have to spend it. They can borrow against it to invest in property and earn a higher return than what it might cost to borrow against. I could keep going on, but why don't you guys pick up? I'm here, and obviously I love all this stuff.
No, I think it's super cool. I think it's good also that you're in the industry as a professional, as a real estate agent as well. I was telling them actually prior to me being in this crypto world in 2019, I actually saw the foresight as well to be kind of what you were doing. I no longer do real estate, but having the foresight to know that this is where the future is going, not only just on chain, but just being able to transact with individuals in the cryptocurrency world to facilitate a sort of deal, and not have to worry about interest rates. I mean, you're tapping into a completely broad market, and crypto individuals as well, looking to diversify, aren't necessarily going to want to use a traditional person who has no idea what cryptocurrency is. So to position yourself as somebody who's on the forefront, it's going to be very vital. So I like that, and I think you're absolutely on the right page. How's the metaverse going? Like, do you see? I know that was a big thing in 2021. Are you seeing any interest from the quote unquote real world in that?
Well, interestingly enough, I am about to reboot my podcast, and
Nice.
we're going to be talking about all of this. It's going to be in the evening where I'm at, which basically gives everybody a chance to finish with their day and not interfere with their business day. But I've got at least a straight month's worth of different things to talk about in my metaverse space, Propy included. And I want to create an environment that's friendly to people who want to get interested at a time of day that's convenient for them. As a matter of fact, I've written my own intro to Web3 ebook and put a little course together. It's sort of like a primer for Propy's CCA course to kind of, so people can kind of get their feet wet. And so I'm going to be having all of you guys on my show and other, real estate agents that I deal with all over the country, all over the world, to get their take on what's going on in their market and to get people on board with this. So while there hasn't been that much interest yet, I fully expect what I'm about to deploy to really, I mean, saying something like this is pretty audacious, but I fully expect it to go viral because, aside from stuff like what we're talking about, there's not really anybody that is reaching the olive branch out to newbies, or at a time that's convenient for people. So I will absolutely make everybody aware when it's going to be happening, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and we can get this thing rolling. I'm super excited.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing you as another fellow podcast individual. That's what I do, live streams, podcasts. I always like to see other individuals do their podcasts, so I'll definitely be tuning in. Anita, I know we got 4 minutes left, so I'm going to let you take it away. Any last words that you have for anyone watching in the Propykeys community, maybe my community, maybe just a real estate aficionado? Last words, please.
Oh, last words. I'm always became super like last words. Yeah, guys. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach me. My X handle is atitova with double V, or Ryan, or our official X handle Propykeys. Next Sunday, just mark the date. We have landmarks minting. That's exciting AI generation tools that we implement in our dev. So try it out. Reach us out. We are here to help, and let's put more home addresses on chain. Let's build on base.
Let's do it. Ryan, any last words from you, my friend?
Yeah, one thing I like to add what Anastasia just said is with the landmark minting, you do have to have at least 3 addresses minted to participate on there because they're exclusive, and you are limited to mint up to 3. So there is a supply cap on that. You can only mint 3, and we do advise anyone that is going to participate in that to maybe write out 3 minting ideas that you have, just to prepare for that, so you could hopefully reserve them when you want. But other than that, thank you all for joining our space. I think this is outstanding, and I think it was a great conversation that we all had.
Yeah, on my end, we had over 2,000 live streams. Elon Musk pushes these live streams.
Thank you, Elon.
Again, it's if you're a content creator, if you're a project, utilize live streams with me, with Anastasia, whoever needs it. Ryan, you guys just do it. Don't feel afraid to put your face out there. The algorithm shows that this is kind of the new thing, more than spaces, honestly. So I appreciate everyone joining. Ted, appreciate you. And yeah, if everyone check out Propykeys and mint an address. Let's go. Let's get this more.
Yeah, sorry guys, can I just send some shout outs to Bill, as he's doing an amazing job in the space, in the base ecosystem, outside base ecosystem. I follow him, his activities, his spaces, live streams. You are just, you are just crushing it. So like, great shout outs to you. We'll be happy to make more activities with you. Yeah, and let's go.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. And Samuel in the audience, I appreciate your support. I know you've been watching since the beginning. So everyone, thank you for watching the Propykeys Late Night on Base live stream. Learn how to mint the world on chain with Propykeys. Check them out if you haven't done so already. All right, everyone. Take care.
I guess. Later.
Bye, guys.